So departing Ickenham on a westbound Metropolitan line train, hello, heading for the depths of Zone 6 once again at the northwest corner of the tube map. Last time out at Upminster I said we'll be heading to the other end of a line that begins with the letter U. Welcome to episode 8 of End of the Line with everything you need to know about Uxbridge. And if you like the trivia that this is the second letter U station, I can also dazzle you with the fact that this is also the second station, end of the line, with the letter X in it. Uxbridge with an X, Brixton with an X. Also, it's worth noting that both the Metropolitan and Piccadilly line trains leave from this station, and if you were going to say King's Cross, which is the quicker way to get there, they've both got direct services. Maybe you could have a race and see which one is faster. But before we do anything else, we must stop and acknowledge what I'm looking at right now, and that is the general magnificence that is Uxbridge. The station is simply visually splendid to look at and admire. It was designed by Charles Holden and is arguably the best piece of architecture on the Underground. Now, I mentioned in the Cockfosters episode that Uxbridge is similar, and that's because it is essentially Cockfosters version 2 and is also Grade 2 listed. The whole structure is often called a concrete cathedral, and no cathedral is complete without stained glass windows, which Uxbridge has. Amongst the designs, I really like the arms of Middlesex County Council, a county of course which no longer exists. And other highlights include the next train lightbox indicator that still works, this old kiosk which looks great, and the old buffet sign which does point to a cafe that's still open. But my favourite is the old cigarette dispensing machine back when a packet used to cost 20p. Also, look out for these weighing machines that are on the platforms. They used to cost a penny and are obviously no longer in use. I'm not sure why though you'd want to weigh yourself at a tube station anyway. And then outside it continues to be stunning. Look up above the semicircular entrance to see the winged wheels of speed and modernity. They're also a reference to the time when trolley buses used to pull up outside in the forecourt, long since pedestrianised. And finally, the roundel on the pole outside uses this thicker than usual typeface, which just looks great. And whilst beneath the canopy of the concrete splendour, I'm just going to point out there's a sign here that tells train operators, drivers, not to open the doors on platform 2. Basically there's platform 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's only like actual 3 tracks because platform 2 isn't used. There's a sign there as well referring to the OPO, that's the one person operation mirror, and basically all this goes back to a time when, as trains departed out of this platform here, the driver's cab would be on this side and they were required to look down the platform to make sure that, you know, the doors had shut okay and nobody was trapped and everything was okay. And so there's this hangover whereby drivers are instructed not to open doors on that side, platform 2, but only ever use the doors on this side on platform 3, and that's why those signs are there. Note, by the way, as that Piccadilly line train pulls in there, is that Met line trains are every 7.5 minutes, or they should be, but Piccadilly line trains are only once every 20 minutes. That's because every other train actually terminates and reverses at Rayners Lane. And that's why there's a poster here saying if you want the Piccadilly line, get on the first Met line train and then change at Rayners Lane. And right by the cafe there's the ramp here for step-free access, and that takes you out to the side entrance. There's a side entrance to Uxbridge Station, which brings you out here by the bus station to catch all the buses, all the U-letter buses, but keep going around the corner for the best vantage point where you can look down onto Uxbridge Tube Station. Okay, the low winter sun is causing a slight issue, meaning that I can't get a perfect head-on, straight-on shot of the station, so I've come to one side where there's no glare from the sun, and you can see down here, this is the perfect place to come for a picture of Uxbridge Station. Note also that just over here you've got the carriage sidings. That is where a lot of the early morning trains depart from and stable at night that terminate here at Uxbridge. There's a little secret access gate, revolving door, where the drivers go in to take their first trains out. And whilst we're here, I've just spotted the big Sainsbury's over there, which reminds me of this. Last year, in my Lost Railways of London series, I found the locations of 2 other older stations in Uxbridge, whilst also noting that today's Uxbridge Tube Station is in fact the second one. The original Underground is where the supermarket is. And that does ironically bring us out to a car park, but it's not the station car park, it's the Sainsbury's car park. But yes, if you want to go to the location of the original Uxbridge Underground Tube Station, just come and stand in this car park. All together now, car parks. with the lovely entrance just over there. We're doing the what is there to do in Uxbridge portion of the video. If you come out, it's a pretty standard high street, all the usual chain shops which you'd expect to see, which is why I'm glad that I stumbled across this. I was in the Transport Museum shop the other day buying some Elizabeth Line maquette, and I spotted a book which I did not know about, called Beyond the End of the Line by Geoff Locke. Let me make it clear, I've never heard of this book. I don't know who Geoff Locke is. That's Geoff with a J. G is a much better way of spelling it. So Geoff hasn't asked me to plug or promote this book, but you know, law dictates that when you're doing a YouTube series called End of the Line and you find randomly a book called Beyond the End of the Line, then you're obliged to buy it, and pretty much it outlines walks that you could do at all the end of the line stations. And here at Uxbridge it suggests going just 5 minutes that way over to the canal. Just heading over the river, Fraser River. Keep going, Geoff. Keep going for the canal. So no, I'm not actually going to walk the canal today, although the book does recommend this excellent circular walking route. By the way, Lazy Research can just quote from the book, Uxbridge began as a settlement on the River Colne. Up until the 19th century, it was a prosperous town, depending on its corn market and its importance as a flour milling centre. The Grand Union Canal, which is where we are now, is the longest canal in the UK and runs for 137 miles between here, London and up to Birmingham. Basically, when you come to Uxbridge as part of your End of the Line series, your own series which you're doing, make sure you do allocate a bit of time to walk some of the canal, because I am, as long-time viewers of the channel will know, a huge advocate of canals. This should be like the time that I announced in 2023 I'm doing a new series called Secrets of All the London Hidden Secret Canals, but I'm not. That would be excellent though. Anyway, canals are good. Back to the station before the sun sets.
So I was about to get the train home and this video should be at an end, except then I had an idea.
Yeah, I'm back in the car park because I had a brainwave. Before I go, I realised / remembered that the Sainsbury's is also an Argos, and that gives me a silly idea. Is that getting batteries too?
You'll get a battery included.
Really? Just because their weighing machine isn't working doesn't mean I can't bring my own and weigh myself, obviously. And so that is the magnificence that is Uxbridge Tube Station. If you only come and visit one of these stations that I'm featuring End of the Line, then do make it this one because it's just spectacular and gorgeous to look at. On the end screen, coming up in a moment, you can press subscribe and there's a playlist where you can watch all the episodes of this series. This is number 8. I think I do about 20 in total by the time we're all done. Loads more to come. Thanks for watching. See you soon on the next episode. Bye.